Welcome, orientation team. So glad that you are part of this experience. I'm very excited to share with you for the next 13 weeks these short YouTube videos that we'll be posting on the mission and core values of orientation. And you're going to hopefully find out the importance and the nuances of our mission and our core values, and for you to be able to grow and develop as a leader through these. So they're going to be short, 5-minute presentations that I'll be giving, and then often there'll be an assignment attached to it where you'll have to do a reflection or create something as a piece of that learning for that week. So hope you enjoy these videos and that they're helpful for our growth and development.
This first week, we want to jump into really what is the mission of orientation. A mission statement should really inform who you are and what you do. And that's going to be important as you think about your role as an intern. So this isn't just a statement that should sit up in your binders or on the wall of our offices. A mission statement really needs to be embedded into our hearts and really used as a filter as we make decisions and as we program for the orientation programs. So let's take a look at the mission statement. The mission of orientation, I'm just going to read it to you. Orientation offers hospitality to new students and families in Calvin's vibrant community and assists students to take ownership of their academic, spiritual, and social development as Christ's agents of renewal in the world. And I'm sure some of that sounds familiar, and we'll talk a little bit more about that next time. But as you think about this mission statement, there's some key words that really pop out to me, and I'd like to talk to you briefly about what those words are. The first two, I think, are important to think about. This idea of offers and assists. Orientation is really an opportunity for us to offer things to students. We can't actually force them hospitality. We can't force students to take ownership. It's almost like we are offering them a gift for them to unwrap themselves. There's a sense that students need to be able to be given this, but really how they engage with our orientation programs is really up to them. Learning is something that has to really transpire from the actual student, and we can't force learning or growth on new students, but we want to offer them the opportunity for learning and growth. And so that's why we use the word offers and assists in this particular context. The next two words I'd like to focus on is new students and families. That's a really important thing to understand, that our audience is not only new students. Often for interns, particularly those that have been orientation leaders, the focus has so been on new students, and obviously that is a very important part of our audience, and we want to be able to connect to that audience through our programming and through our ideas. And clearly, if we don't do a good job with that, we aren't doing a great job as interns. But secondly, new students and their families. Families is a part of the mix, and we're going to be having on-campus programming this year directed at families. We're going to have virtual programming directed at family members. And we use the word family members, which is a more inclusive language than just parents. Many of you have been blessed to have a household where you've grown up with a mom and dad, or maybe just a mom or just a dad, but you've had parents. There are some families, though, that is not part of their experience. And so the language choosing to use family members is just a very inclusive language that we tend to use. So remember our two audiences, both students and family members are going to be part of who we're planning for and trying to meet both their needs. The second next thing we want to talk about is to take ownership. This is a really important aspect of growing into what it means to be a thriving college student. This idea that you have responsibility to take ownership of your experience. This is not something your parents can do for you anymore. You have to be the one who takes the initiative. You have to be the one who owns your learning, that owns your own experience. And so we really think those are valuable words, and we chose those words quite selectively. This idea that students need to take ownership of their new experience. And this is kind of like the adulting part that is sometimes hard, and sometimes students aren't prepared to do this, and they end up falling flat on their face sometimes and having to figure it out their second semester or their second year, that this really is something they have to own, and it can't be something that their parents do for them. Um, the next words we want to focus on is this idea of academic, spiritual, and social development. We use these three words because orientation, particularly at Calvin University, needs to be holistic in the scope of its programming. We're not just trying to have students understand their academic experience, although that's very important to our mission. We're not just trying to have students grow in who they are in the relationship with God, although that's so crucial to this Calvin experience. And it's not just social development. And so you'll find at some schools that their welcome week is almost 100% like social development and dances and fun events. And while we like to have that component as part of our orientation programs, we also want to know that there's academic and spiritual issues that we want to deal with within our programming. And so as you think about new students and serving them and even their family members, you got to think of the whole person in this context and not just single elements of maybe some parts of their identity. And then the last part of the statement is Christ's agents of renewal in the world. And you can see this directly connects to the mission of Calvin University, which is the last statement in that mission statement also. This aspect, though, that we and they are agents of renewal, I think is an important part that we want students to understand. It also grounds our work in this important reformed perspective of being an agent of renewal. And that applies to your job as much as it applies to new students coming here. We want you to restore freshness to things that are rotting. So there are programs that need restoring. There are students that are going to come here that are broken. We have you in order to enter into that brokenness, enter into that rottenness, and to restore freshness. And that's going to be through the work in you and the work through you through the Holy Spirit that you're able to do that. But that means that you have to position yourself to be in that role and willing to be someone who is an agent of renewal, a representative of Christ's kingdom as part of your position here on Calvin's orientation team. So clearly this is an important mission statement for us. This isn't the only time we're going to be talking about it. But to kind of like solidify this mission statement, we have a short assignment for you. So the homework you have today is we gave you a shirt at our last meeting, a white t-shirt. And what I'm going to ask you to do over the next week is to decorate the shirt. Maybe it's using the fabric markers or puff paint that we have in the office to design a mission that can fit on a logo of a t-shirt. So my t-shirt says, I brought my pitchfork, and it has a pitchfork. That has meaning and significance for me, and I'll explain it to you sometime, maybe later. What we want for you to do is to create a very similar thing. What kind of logo / symbol / images / words define the mission of orientation that can be summarized on the front side of a shirt or the back side of a shirt? So that's the goal, for you to create a shirt that embodies the mission, and it's very crystal clear what it is and what it means to you. So good luck on that assignment. We look forward to seeing beautiful shirts. Have a great day.